It's time for another segment of Mr. and Mrs. Medicare, saving seniors from a high cost of healthcare, debunking Medicare, making Medicare easy to understand for all seniors. All guests of any of the Medicare segments receive the free ebook written by your MedicareLady.com. Here are your hosts, Paul and Sarah Finkelstein.
And one more message by Tony. Check this out.
You have been listening to the OMG podcast with Paul Finkelstein. We can help you build wealth without hogging your time. Schedule a one-on-one with us. Thanks for listening. Join us again for another OMG podcast segment.
Thanks so much, Tony from trcvoiceovers.com. That's Tony from trcvoiceovers.com. He does great, wonderful voiceovers. If you need a voiceover that's not AI and it's a real person, you should check out Tony at trcvoiceovers.com. This is also brought to you by a special gift to you. It's called It's Smart, It's Free, and it could change your life. It's smart, it's free, and it could change your life. If you'd like to know more information about this special offer, especially during this holiday time period for the Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, everything else, Happy New Year, etc., all the great, wonderful, positive faiths that you could be a part of. Today, we're going to be talking about my Why Dream Big speech. But here's first a disclaimer, and also beside the disclaimer in the first 2 minutes here. Otherwise, you'll be completely bored. And if you don't pay attention, you definitely will be completely bored. But if you want to schedule a one-to-one with me, Paul, you could always go to OMG121.com, not to schedule it, but to meet me there. I'll tell you how to schedule in just a second. You will be meeting me at OMG121.com, which directs right to my Zoom, which is for one-to-ones. And of course, if you have 10 business leaders, a maximum of 10, you could always meet me at omgbizcafe.com. That's omgbizcafe.com. And it'll become right here into the live studio where we only have a maximum of 10 business leaders, business entrepreneurs, where you'll participate in a 7 to 10 minute Why Dream Big speech. And then we'll hear some networking topics and some feedback that you could hear no better than a distinguished Toastmaster or DTM from Toastmaster International, because the DTMs or distinguished Toastmasters, they are the ones that understand feedback the best. If you don't know the Oreo cookie method or sandwich method, Google it under sandwich method or Oreo cookie method or Toastmaster International Oreo cookie method for evaluations. You'll understand why DTMs do feedback the ultimate best. And today's speech, 365 speeches in 365 days, brought to you by It's Smart, It's Free, and it could change your life. And you could book that, by the way, by using the email wow@omgtalk.com. The email is wow@omgtalk.com, or text me. It could change your life in the subject line, and text it 561-302-0051. That's 561-302-0051. But why dream big? Let's talk about some of your first jobs. What are your first jobs that you've ever had in your entire life? Did anybody here mow the lawn like I did when you were younger in high school, maybe in 14 or 15 or 16, but somewhere around those years where your parents trusted you to utilize heavy machinery, dangerous machinery? It could be, it could have no foot. There are people that probably have had accidents with lawnmowers. So my dad certainly helped me do that as well. But I did see that the lawnmower was getting quite a bit of dust. He waited and waited and waited until it was difficult to mow the lawn at times. Maybe he did. Maybe I embellished it. But the point is that he didn't want to do it. And I think also he wanted to give me the shot of doing some labor, learn the skills of having a job and what that means, or just a discipline that you get from a job. And so I mowed the lawn, but dependent on the weather for lawn mowing as well, or if you have a lawn business, how many people are, it's a capital intensive business. Well, maybe capital intensive. What? How much capital intensive? As much money as it takes to buy a lawnmower. You could buy all different. There are expensive lawnmowers, and then really cheap lawnmowers. Of course, those gestures, the expensive ones up here, the cheap ones down here. Then there's lawn bags and leaf blowers. Some people don't even bag their lawn clippings. They just blow them into the street and piss off the HOA or piss off the neighbors as well. Then there's the snow blowing business I also did when I was in my younger years in high school. That was great because then I could start off with my driveway, which the snow came the most. So I know everybody on my side of the street needed that, but the other side of the street did get quite a bit of snow as well. So in my younger years, I did make some money from snow blowing. Which anybody here ever operate a snow blower? Maybe you put some comments in the chat if you'd like to. Just like I could as well. I'll show you what that looks like. So I'll just type in here, I did. So if I put, I did, it refers to that I also operated some heavy machinery when in my younger years. This is 365 speeches in 365 days. I did operate a snow blower. I did operate a lawn mower. And that's how I started to make some extra money in my younger years, as well as another time. How many people are, you could also put this in the comments as well if you're watching on YouTube or on two of my Facebook pages. If you had a friend that went on a date in around junior high or 11th grade in high school, and they decided that they needed a quick substitute because they wanted to leave on good terms, and I didn't know that they were leaving on good terms like forever. I thought it was just a one day, but I think I ended up doing several days at this Italian restaurant in New City, New York, in Rockland County, New York. Anybody hear of a wonderful Italian restaurant that's no longer there called Cricket's Italian Restaurant? It just sounds exactly like a Italian restaurant, right? Cricket's Italian Restaurant doesn't really sound very Italian, does it? There's no like cricketa, like an A at the end of it, perhaps. So, but I did get paid in food. That was my like sheep get fed, and I got fed with a veal parmesan, and of course they pay me in cash sometimes, so I can even go back and turn them in, right, because they're gone. But I'm not the turning in type. So millions of people want their own business, and all those situations, two of those situations, the lawn mowing business and the it wasn't an official business. I was just getting my understanding what it's like to actually mow a lawn and then do it for somebody else, and then same thing for just a neighbor. So it wasn't really a business per se, just a little extra money. Could you get your kid to mow my lawn? So millions of people want their own business, but is that what they want, is their own business, or is it the freedom that they want? Freedom to dream big. And why dream big? People, want different things for different people. Before I continue any further, though, I do want to do a proper introduction. Usually I make the screen go black so that way you cannot see me and you'll be able to hear me while I'm saying this. So I'm still here with you guys. It's 8 minutes in, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about Paul Finkelstein, which is quite a popular name. The first and last name, Paul Finkelstein. There's over 50 Paul Finkelsteins on LinkedIn, probably on Facebook as well, with the same exact spelling and first and last name. This Paul Finkelstein doesn't like to stay in the lines because he thinks bigger than that. No, of course. How about yourself? Unless you are okay with the status quo, mediocrity, never getting a raise from your job ever, definitely not interested in entrepreneurship, then you will find this talk extremely, very, very, very boring. But I invite you to have a big open mind and be open to some new concepts with a short 5-minute talk. Now, if it goes more than 5 minutes to about 15 minutes and you're still hanging on and you didn't just hang up just a second, well, then I know that perhaps maybe that we connect in some way or fashion. If not, then bye-bye, arrivederci. But Paul Finkelstein, dream big, Paul Finkelstein. Help me welcome to the stage. And here I am. I'm back on the stage here live. That was not a technical glitch. That was just so you could focus on the introduction so that we could get on with the show. There are I've put together 6 words, which I'm not going to talk a whole lot about because they hopefully are common sense, which is 6 words that are what I might consider and what amateur entrepreneurs would consider a curse word. We all know what curse words are. So they're words that I'm not allowed to say in my household. So I will put over here, interesting, when I put I did, it actually put it on my Facebook page, and then it also put it on YouTube as well. So thank you guys also for listening as well. But here's the curse words, which I will remove the word I did, because I did not say this a lot in my life. How about yourselves? The word mediocrity, what comes to mind when you think of mediocrity that amateur entrepreneurs is a curse word for, which mediocrity is, well, you settling for something less. And I'll talk about that, I think, in a little bit later as well. When I think of mediocrity, I'll think of one word, which is a sound effect for mediocrity, and that's like the sound of boredom, the sound of boredom, the sound of somebody falling asleep on you. Then there's a second word that could be an amateur entrepreneur curse word, which is tired. Tired. Amateur entrepreneurs say that I'm tired, but professional entrepreneurs do not say that they're tired. They do whatever it takes. The same thing with the word mediocrity. They don't settle for something less. They keep going. And then there's the word comfortable. I have two amazing stories using the word comfortable. If I say the word comfortable one more time, my wife is probably going to give it to me for sure. But the word comfortable can put you right to sleep. I think of comfort zone, and the amateur entrepreneur is too comfortable taking that remote control to the television set and does not feel like doing more in advancing a business or even entertain the idea of their own business or being an entrepreneur. Then there's the word procrastination. I'll use a different sound effect for that, and that is, it's beyond tired. It's lazy. It's I'll do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow becomes 2 weeks and 2 months and 2 years and 2 decades. And then procrastination really is a big slap in the face, a curse word for entrepreneurism. The next two words kind of go hand in hand together, and that's work and effort. Usually employees, they want a paycheck, and they work a certain amount of time, they get a paycheck. They work another more time, they get a paycheck. And so work is like a curse word to an amateur entrepreneur. Have you thought of yourself as an amateur entrepreneur, and are you ready to become a professional entrepreneur? I'll take a little quickie break, because what's interesting is if I put on the screen at the very bottom, I thought, here it is, the picture of myself when I was 13 at a 13-year-old birthday party. My mom had a DJ there, and there was some kids on the left side of the dance floor, and on the right side of the dance floor was some other kids, and the whole middle of the dance floor was empty all around. And then the DJ would say, Red Rover, send Johnny over. And then all the kids ran over to the side of the dance floor. When I think of this game that I played when I was 13, I also think of the book from Robert Kiyosaki called Cash Flow Quadrant. And on the left side of the dance floor are employees and self-employed people. On the right side of the dance floor are business owners and investors. And many people are on the left side as employees and self-employed people. And some people that are self-employed confuse themselves with business owners on the right side, which are completely different animals. The business owner on the right side has a system that runs their business, and their business could run without them. The left side, the self-employed person, their business absolutely cannot run without them. So how many of those kids at 13 that are going to be future entrepreneurs, or people later in life that are there as employees and self-employed people, or you still have your foot still as an employee or self-employed person in your office, and those self-employed people and employees are trading dollars for hours and hours for dollars. There's only 168 hours in a week, so if you put in more time, then you have less time for family time. You have less time for other things, and that's why people are craving for work-life balance. Let's digress a little bit more, but why dream big? Let's talk about some dreams, because this whole entire speech is about dreaming big. Like for my honeymoon, and you go on vacation, maybe you went to the Parthenon and visited Athens, Greece, like my wife and I did several decades ago. Maybe perhaps you still have a dream to do that. You still have a dream to do more travel, or maybe you want to travel to the beaches of the world where the sun spends the winters on many of the beaches of the world. How many people are thinking this? I like my job. I love my job. My job is sexy. I love my job. How many people here have heard the term job as the acronym for just over broke? Because, I mean, you only have 168 hours a week. I have 160 hours a week. And if we do all of it ourselves, perhaps maybe we're getting broker and broker and broker and broker. But you know what's interesting is that 95% of 100 people in your cell phone, by the time they get to 65, are dead, disabled, or broke. And only 4% are financially okay, and 1 is extremely rich. I think of extremely rich as 10 million or more. I think of people that are 4% that are financially okay, or somewhere between 2 and 4 million. And then anybody less than 1 million are 1 catastrophe or tragedy away from, close to tragedy or chaotic in your life, or maybe you're going through that right now. And so these are times that decisions are happening. Sometimes in chaos, I've heard, is the time when success comes the most for a lot of entrepreneurs. So if you're thinking, I love my job, I like my job is sexy, perhaps maybe I ask you to dream bigger and find out what your why is to dream big. I don't need a raise. That you're thinking this. I don't need a raise. I don't need a job with more revenue. I'm happy with the current revenue that I have right now. Is that you? Tell me right now, you've thought to yourself, you said to somebody yesterday or today on the phone, I make good money. Is that what you said recently? And what, pray tell, is good money? Because I do know the statistics out there. So why dream big? Did you know that you're surrounded by millions of people who have settled for something less? What have people settled for? A lot of people have settled for a job or being self-employed, and maybe they just don't know that there is something more than a job or being self-employed. How many people here know what their fun number is? What's a fun number? A fun number is when you could do what you want, when you want, how you want, where you want, whenever you want, and a boss does not say, get back to work, buddy. So that's a fun number. And a fin number goes with the fun number because you have all the money to back up your fun with. So what's the definition of success? I always am fascinated by this one particular definition of success, and that success is the progressive realization of a worthwhile dream or goal. That success is the progressive realization of a worthwhile dream or goal. I'll repeat it again one more time. Success is a progressive realization of a worthwhile goal, but success means different things to different people. In the eyes of a 20-year-old, in the eyes of a 30-year-old, in the eyes of a 40-year-old, the eyes of a 50-year-old, 60-year-old, 70-year-old, 80-year-old, 90-year-old, 100-year-old, success means different. I imagine for a 100-year-old, success is walking to the end of the hallway or getting up from a chair. So success means different things to different people. Now grab a piece of paper. I'd love for you to draw a circle on a piece of paper in front of you. And on that piece of paper with the circle, inside the circle that you have drawn around, which is a closed loop, by the way, inside there, draw an S with 2 vertical lines through it, which is the universal symbol for a dollar sign, which stands for your income, your money coming into your household for the rest of your life, your income. And those of you that want more or are looking for work, perhaps maybe we could help you there as well, because this talk is sponsored by It's Smart. It's free, and it could change your life. It's smart, it's free, and it could change your life. Find out more about that after this talk by emailing wow@omgtalk.com or text me, Paul, for It's Smart in the subject line, and text me at 561-302-0051. But in the circle that you drew with the dollar sign, draw another circle around it. We're going to call that the dream circle. Now, how big was your circle? If you could show me, and we were here together, and let everybody see your circle displayed here today, is it a little circle, nice and neat and perfect? Is it a medium circle, or is it a very big circle? And have you heard of Robert Kiyosaki and his book called The Cash Flow Quadrant? Talk about that briefly again. I mentioned it a little bit earlier, that on the cash flow quadrant, there's only 4 ways of making money. 4 ways. No matter what you're going to talk to me about today, there's only 4 ways of making money. That's being an employee, that's being a self-employed person, being a business owner, or being an investor. And those are divided up into 4 quadrants. On the left side of the quadrant, I talked about earlier how there's many people that are in the left side of the quadrants, the employee on the top and the self-employed person on the bottom. But the self-employed person on the bottom is no different than not much different anyway, then there's differences, but then the employee. The only main difference I see is that the self-employed person owns their own job. They own their own job. So what does that mean? Now, instead of letting the employee go at 5 o'clock and checking in at 9 o'clock with their time clock, the owner doesn't clock in and clock out. They're working whenever they feel they need to raise their income. In order to raise their income, they have to spend more hours. So there's that game again that I played earlier, the picture you see on the screen there of me when I was 13 years old when I played Red Rover, send Johnny over. How many people that are employee and self-employed people would run over as fast as they can to the business owner and investor side? And when you do, you broaden your mind. And if you could develop something part-time while doing your job or your business, and have another stream of income so that during cyclical cycles in business, you could, create more income without having the challenge of 160 hours in a week, as we all have. You don't have any more than 168 hours in a week, which includes sleep. We all need about 7 hours of sleep at least, perhaps. So why dream big? So I'm going to put up a dream here on the screen again, maybe to go where the sun spends the winters on the beaches of the world. Maybe you have this other dream of travel, like seeing the Parthenon and climbing up those steps, and not when you're 80 years old and 90 years old to do that. But if you do that, then I will be very proud of you. But who helps an old lady cross the road? Let's pause for a second there. A nice person, a mentor, a coach, a gentleman, a mensch, a distinguished Toastmaster, a kind person helps a old lady cross the road. And who am I calling an old lady? So why dream big? Who helps an employee or self-employed person cross that road and wake up as a business owner and investor and raise their income and leverage their time? Same kind of people, a coach, a mentor, a kind person, an entrepreneur, or a business owner who was once an employee. So if you were a business owner now or used to be, and you love mentoring people, I'd love to chat with you as well. You could email me at wow@omgtalk.com. That's wow@omgtalk.com for my email, or text me for this. It's smart, it's free, and it could change your life. Text me. It's smart in the subject line at 561-302-0051. That's 561-302-0051. But why does it feel so good to help someone? Same kind of thing. Why does it feel good to exercise? After you're done exercising, you just feel great. Why does it feel good to mentor someone? Why does it feel good to educate someone? Who will teach you if I don't? What will happen if you don't listen today? Will you stay exactly where you are? If you don't want to stay exactly where you are, let's keep in touch. But why dream big? Why don't people dream big? And here's a couple of them I'll rattle off for you, which is TikTok, TV, Netflix binge watching, other time zappers, 160 hours a week, 45 years. Are you tired yet? Am I tired yet also of delivering this speech for 24 years, 24 minutes that I've been giving this speech here, or 24 years? So why dream big? Does sick precede tired for you? Sick and tired, sometimes you've heard those in the same sentence by a relative, perhaps. A grandmother, perhaps, a parent, perhaps, a mom, a dad, sick and tired of a boss, sick and tired. So an employee might have said that, a peer at work. If you heard a peer or one of your peers at work say, I'm sick and tired of a boss, and let you invite me with them. Let's talk together at omgbizcafe.com as well. And just email me to arrange it at wow@omgtalk.com or 561-302-0051. You can call or text or email. Sick and tired of being broke, or sick and tired of your income circle falling short of your dream circle? Many people, 95% only have the income circle. And why? The proof of that, how many seniors today could use that more income, and they need Social Security to keep them off of the very bottom. Just living and surviving is one thing, but really getting the most bang out of your buck for maximizing the rest of your life. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. But why don't more people do this? Why don't more people dream big? Here's maybe 6 things, or 5 or 6 things, which is fear, lack of capital or money, same thing, lack of knowledge, lack of education, lack of confidence, which Toastmasters International could help you with that and get you out of your job if that's something you'd like to do. Fear equals, ready? Got a pen here? False evidence appearing real. A wonderful acronym I heard at one time years ago. And then here's some great books I highly recommend as well. Why Dreaming Big? And that's The Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, How to Be Rich by J. Paul Getty, The Magic of Thinking Big by Dr. David Schwartz, and Think and Go Rich by Dr. Napoleon Hill. When you're ready to get your dream circle, you will dream big. Your income circle is falling short of your dream circle, you will dream big. And maybe you'll improve your health by dreaming big as well. Any last thoughts I have for you today? I don't think so. I think that wraps up here. So I invite you to dream big. It's completely optional. It's a 15-minute to half hour, if you'd like, to schedule a time where we can go over my Dream Big speech as well. Also like to invite you to have it smart. It's free. It could change your life. Email me at wow@omgtalk.com. That's wow@omgtalk.com, or text me at 561-302-0051, or call me as well. Do you have a dream of going to the Parthenon like we did for our honeymoon, or going where the sun spends the beaches on the winters on the beaches of the world? And I'll give the last word to yourmedicarelady.com, as well as Tony from TRC Voiceovers.
It's time for another segment of Mr. and Mrs. Medicare, saving seniors from a high cost of healthcare, debunking Medicare, making Medicare easy to understand for all seniors. All guests of any of the Medicare segments receive a free ebook written by yourmedicarelady.com. Here are your hosts, Paul and Sarah Finkelstein.
And Tony gets the last word from trcvoiceovers.com.
You have been listening to the OMG Podcast with Paul Finkelstein. We can help you build wealth without hogging your time. Schedule a one-on-one with us. Thanks for listening. Join us again for another OMG Podcast segment.
Stay tuned for tomorrow, 365 speeches in 365 days.